Hey guys, welcome back to M2 Fishing. Today we're going to start a new series about pond management. I've got an 8-acre pond that's my girlfriend's parents live on. Not a lot of other people fish here, especially for bass. So lately the bass population has become stunted as of there's a big difference between last year and this year. This year all I can catch is around 8-inch bass. Last year there was a lot of really nice bass, 2, 3, 4, 5 pounders. So what I'm trying to do is increase the size density. Yeah, Jackie's licking me. Anyway, I'm trying to increase the size density of the bass. So I've been researching it. I did find that there is such a way to manage it called proportional stock density. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out here and catch bass and keep track of all the bass that I catch. And then anything, we're going to measure all of them. And then all the bass that are from 8 to 12 inches, we're going to keep track of. And all the bass that are over 12 inches, we're going to keep track of. We're going to do a little math. I'm not going to get into the details, but do a little math, figure out the density. Right now it's probably below 10. It's a ratio, and we need to get it up around 50. So first thing I did today is I went out and I cast netted some shad at a local reservoir. I caught maybe 10 or 12 gizzard shad and 10 or 12 threadfin shad, and I put those in. I'm going to continue to do that. Then I'm going to also start taking out some of the bass that are between 8 and 12 inches. Right now the only food in this lake is brim, other baby bass. There is crappie in the lake, and I think the culprit, the reason that the bass structure went down, is because they added catfish last year. They stocked 200 catfish, and they're all about 3 or 4 pounds now, and I think they're eating all the bluegill, so the bass don't have as much food as they used to. So we're just gonna see if we can make a difference. I'll try to do a video every week about this, and we'll see if we can increase the ratio. I'll show you guys me catching some fish. We'll look at some fish and see if we can make this pond better, make it a trophy bass fishery. That's the ultimate goal. This lake has produced 9-pound, 10-pound bass in the past. It does have Florida strain in it. It has a lot of brush piles. It doesn't have a lot of grass. I'm trying to incorporate a little bit of grass into it. We don't want to get any invasive species, obviously, and have it take over the whole lake, but it does have some weeds and stuff around the edge. It has a little bit of timber, and it has maybe 10 brush piles out in it. So there is a little bit of structure, and there's 2 docks. The bluegills really like those. So, and I did see that the bluegill spawned, and there were quite a few young of the year bluegills. So we're just gonna see what we can do, and if you guys are interested in this, just keep track. Remember to click subscribe. This is a brand new channel. We're trying to make it big, get a lot of knowledge out there for everybody. A lot of bass fishing information. Always going to be upfront and honest. And so click subscribe, click the bell to turn on your alerts, and share it with your friends. Anybody you know that likes to fish. We're going to continue to put out great topics and information and a lot of good content. So stay tuned. All right, guys, while I got you here, I'm going to give you a little overview of the pond while it's not too windy. It is a little windy today, so I apologize if there's any issues with the audio, but I'll give you a view. I'm out here about mid-lake. That's the dam down there, and you can see there's some standing timber. There's a couple houses around it. It goes back, and it does curve all the way back there quite a ways. So I'll put you on this chest strap. I probably should have made a video of me putting that on because that was hilarious. I look like an idiot. So I will put you on the chest strap, see if we can catch some fish. I already did catch one. It was about 11.5 inches. So it's in the bucket. Go put it in a different pond that we're not worried about the structure in that pond. So just using a Texas rigged, it's a Maxent general worm. Yeah, it's a green pumpkin red flake with an orange belly. Kind of represents a little brim or bluegill. It's about what they have to eat here. So Should be pretty easy to catch 10 or 12 fish. I caught that first one in about 2 minutes. So try to catch 10 or 12, and then we'll go dump them in the other pond and see if we can thin out this bass population a little bit and grow some hogs. So be right back with you. All right, everybody, welcome to the chest cam. Got this general worm, rig it up. I know, it's a hot mess after that last fish got hold of it. If y'all never tried this Maxin, number one, I don't have any sponsors, so if I tell you anything, it's just because I like it. So if y'all have never tried Berkley Maxin, I recommend it. It's a totally different feel. It's more of a, almost feels kind of like foam. Something the bass haven't seen much of, and it is just infused with scent, so they do not let go of it, which is nice. I don't think it, it probably gets as many bites as any other Senko, but it does allow them to hold on longer with that nice scent in there. I've bit off a piece. It's salty. Probably the saltiest bait I've ever bitten. Just using a little spinning rod setup since we are fishing. We're fishing for smaller fish. Just a Daiwa Legalis 2500 series. It's on an older rod I have, just a Fenwick Silverhawk 2. It's actually a great rod. It's a medium action, fast. And I've just got a little Texas rig weightless on there. If you can see that. I don't know if you can. Anyway, so give this a try here. Right along this bank, there's usually about 4 million bass, so shouldn't be too hard to get one. Just an amazing cast. And a bite, and there's a fish. Sorry I messed y'all up. I know it's a little different today. We're actually fishing for small fish, which I don't normally like to do. Little guy threw the worm off. Good thing we got a whole pack of them. This is a perfect coal fish. We'll measure him here, see how big he is. I didn't bring out the fan, I just brought a yardstick. So, see how big he is. Oh, goodness sakes. He's wild. All right, let's take a look at this guy. He is about 11 1/4 inches, so he will go in the bucket. Probably jump out, they usually do at first. When I drive with him, I put a net over it, otherwise they'll all end up in the bed of the truck. So he goes on the 8 plus column, and we'll go from there. I'll be back with you shortly. Got a new bait tied on, Texas rig, no weight. Let's see if there's any over on this side. As you can see, it's really windy. You probably can't hear me at all, so just enjoy the view. Nothing like fishing on a Tuesday. Most of these bass just work this weed edge for brim. When I use all my spinning tackle, I use a yellow line, and then I tie that directly to a fluorocarbon leader. I like to be able to see my line, so. This one is yellow Sunline. My other rod has yellow Power Pro Super 8 Slick, so. This one has a 12-pound braid to a 12-pound fluoro leader. So it should be more than enough to get any fish in that might decide to bite. There's a lot of that green slime, so you pretty much have to fish a weedless worm, otherwise you end up with junk all over your hook every time you take it out. So, out here by these 2 trees is usually a spot for some bigger fish, but lately that hasn't been the case. And we almost got snagged. Dang, wind. Hard to fish, weightless in the wind. Might be a fish right on this edge. I'll let it sink there a little bit. Oh, snagged the worm right off. Dang it. Get another one rigged up. I kind of just used these worms today because I wanted to get rid of them. I don't, I guess they like them, but it's kind of an odd color, and I've never really used it. I may have to start using it though. They seem to love it. I'm getting a bite about every single cast almost. That doesn't mean they'll like it at Lake Fork, but they like it here, so. Definitely looks like a brim. It has that orange belly, green top. So you can't go wrong there if they're brim eaters. Fish Lake Holbrook quite a bit up there, and it tends to have a lot of brim eaters in it. Caught the shad this morning at Lake Palestine on one of the bridges. I've been halfway across this East Texas looking for shad, and I've not had any luck. Whoops, missed a bite. Finally got on some today, which was nice. Gizzard shad, some of them were 7 inches, which should make some nice breeding shad in this pond. If y'all have any tips, don't forget to go down to the bottom and make a comment, because I'm new to this as well as anybody, so I'm always open to suggestions and tips. Now that cast is probably a little far out from the bank based on where these fish have been, but you never know. Hopefully this summer when they get on the brush piles, I tend to catch bigger bass here. So we'll see this summer what the size structure looks like. No bite that cast. Spot's bunk. Another page y'all can go check out is Bass Fishing Network. Bass Fishing Network Live. I just recently have become partners with those guys. Really good idea. They interview pros and other people, like Babe Winkleman's on there. A lot of guys that we've grown up watching fishing and current pros, and you can go on there and watch a live show, and you can ask your own questions or anything. They have website, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, so go on there. They also have a nice group on Facebook. We got about 7,000 members. Good place to post your bass fishing pictures or ask questions. You can also ask me any question you want. I've started out in Nebraska, and I did a lot of bass fishing in small ponds and stuff like that, and we mostly walleye fished in bigger reservoirs. And so when I moved to Texas, I had to there's a fish. Had to learn the bass game in the reservoirs. It's been a crash course, but I feel like I've gotten pretty good. We've caught 250 bass this year already, so between me and John. John's the other half of M2 Fishing. My last name's Marsh, his last name's Marcos. We decided to make a team out of it, so he'll be on some of these videos as well. Here's a little guy, little Cinco eater. This guy looks like he might have been caught before. There's red in his mouth. Anyway, let's see how long he is. Ten and a half inches. Oh, y'all can't see. So, perfect little coal bass, little bluegill eater. Number 3 going in the tank. You have one of these battery powered. Whoa, he's jumping out. Oh my goodness. Then clean out into the grass. Stop that. Put me back. Let's see if he'll stand. Oh my God. We have jumping bass, folks. And, oh, there you come. Good Lord. They wild. Stay wild. All right, guys, we all finished catching some coal fish out of the pond. We caught 15 total fish. 13 of them were less than 12 inches, 8 to 12 inches, 13 of them. And then 2 of them were over 12, just barely. So we let those 2 go. Took 13 out, threw them in the private pond. And that puts us at a density of about 1.5. I know it's a small sample, but we're going to keep keeping track. Try to get that density up to about 50 or 0.5. So we're going to take the total number of bass over 12 inches, divide it by the total number of bass caught, and that'll give us a density. So, and then multiply that by 100. So that gives us a density, and hopefully can increase it in this pond because it definitely has potential. So until next time, keep on fishing. Talk to you later.